Hello, you're listening to Nick RP Green, no internet pseudonyms here. What you see is what you get. Recording on the 15th of February 2013, and today is another edition of Thoughts Whilst Doing the Washing Up.
Your workstation. It's important to keep your area tidy and free of droppings. But a clean workstation is only part of the job.
So, welcome to yet another edition of Thoughts Whilst Doing the Washing Up. Technically, this is actually Thoughts Whilst Doing the Washing Up 3. I actually did one a couple of weeks ago, but unfortunately, I found out towards the end of it that my mic turned off halfway through, which was really irritating, and I really didn't have it in me to try and re-record any of it and do it, because I kind of like the whole significance of doing it live, so I didn't want to re-record bits and put it on the end. It was a bit stiff. So today, how am I feeling today? I'm doing well. I'm doing pretty well. These talks aren't just supposed to be about video games. I'll give you a sort of quick, brief outline of what's been going on. As I know a lot of people do that with their videos, and I think it's nice so that people know what's going on. If you don't like this bit, then just sort of skip through it. If you don't want to listen to my life. My time for videos is going to become a little less again. I'm actually going to be starting a work placement with the council soon, which should be a lot of fun. I'm not getting paid for it, it's just work experience, but it'll get me some... Well, this glass was actually stuck to the surface. It shows how long this has been here for. There's quite a lot washing up this time, but I'll just be doing a quick bit. I'm not going to drawl on as long as I did last time. So yeah, once I start that, I'll have a little less time. Not that I've been doing many videos, I'm still just engrossed in LOL really, and Gaming Society stuff. On that note, Gaming Society tomorrow, which is Saturday, we're having our first ever Lugs All-Nighter, which is an all-night gaming LAN on university campus. So that should be fun. I've got to take all my stuff with me, because I'll get bored with one of it if I only took my PC, if I only took my console. So that should be interesting. The Society's got their new monitors coming to my house tomorrow, so that I can take those as well, so that'd be really good. So yeah, really looking forward to that. I've adjusted my sleeping pattern accordingly so that I can actually survive it. What else is there with Logs? Well, there was Wednesday evening we went to see Wreck-It Ralph, and that's certainly one of the topics I'm going to be talking about in this edition of Thoughts Whilst Doing the Washing Up. This pizza thing has got bits of pizza all over it and it won't bloody come off. It's really tough. But yes, more about gaming than washing up. How about that? So yeah, Wreck-It Ralph. Wreck-It Ralph, if you didn't know, has been out in America and the rest of the world pretty much since October, November time last year. But unfortunately, due to licensing issues, we haven't been able to have it over here until now. It came out last week, I think it was February 8th, February 9th, something like that. So yeah, we've only just been able to go and see it in the cinemas. We saw it in 3D because there weren't any showings in 2D. I'm not a big fan of 3D, to be honest. I think it's a bit of a fad, and it will grow out of it, just like we have done 3D in the past. 3D's been done loads of times before, and everyone's grown out of it pretty quickly. This one seems to be sticking around a bit longer, but I'm still not a fan. But there weren't any late showings in 2D, so we had to see it in 3D. And for a cartoon film, it's Disney Animation Studios. It's not Pixar. We did get that wrong when we saw it. We thought some people thought it was made by Pixar. It isn't. It's just Disney Animation Studios. For animation, 3D works quite well. The Society saw Tintin in 3D as well. And that works quite well. But we saw some trailers for some live action stuff in 3D, and it just doesn't look right to me. I don't know. It just kind of looks like everyone's flat. They're in a 3D environment, but everyone's really flat. Well, maybe it was just the trailers weren't very good quality. I don't know. But the film itself is really, really good. It's understandable why there's been these licensing issues, because there's a lot of licensed stuff in there. You've got characters from Street Fighter. You've got Sonic the Hedgehog in it, who is voiced by the official guy who voices Sonic at the moment. I can't remember what the guy's name is, but he also voices Chris Redfield. And then I also discovered he voices Ezio Auditore from Assassin's Creed. So yeah, Sonic is Chris Redfield, is Ezio Auditore, apparently. I'm not normally a big fan of. I don't like Sarah Silverman, but she plays the main female in it, and she was actually very good. But yeah, they use a lot of licenses. There's a lot of game references. I noted references to Portal. There was a Metal Gear Solid reference in it, which I kind of jizzed in my pants slightly when it came in. There's a lot of Street Fighter stuff, and so there's Mario is mentioned, but he's not in it. There is a Mario mushroom in it at one point, but Mario himself's not actually in it. And there's a lot of references to really old retro games like Qbert, Tapper, Pac-Man. I don't think Space Invaders is in there. And then there's the main games. You know, Wreck-It. It's not called Wreck-It Ralph, the game that he's in. It's actually called Fix It Felix Jr. Yeah, sorry, it's a bit of a tongue twister. I don't know how many takes it took them to say it over and over again. Yeah, so that's sort of kind of like, you know, your arcade. It's a bit like it's sort of the same idea as Donkey Kong, that sort of style of game. And then there's Heroes Duty, which is kind of a crossover between Halo, Call of Duty, and Gears of War. Which the woman from that is, I can't remember what the actress's name is, but she's the really evil gym teacher in Glee, which is about as much about Glee as I really want to know. But she's very good. To be honest, from what I've seen of Glee, I hate the idea of the show, and I'm really annoyed. If you didn't hear about them ripping off Jonathan Coulton's version of Baby Got Back, that was horrible. Yeah, they basically just sung a version of Baby Got Back, which sounds suspiciously like the one Jonathan Coulton did. And he even thinks that they used some sound excerpts. I can't remember if I've talked about this before. Oh, if I have, then tell me off for talking about it before. But anyway, from what I've actually seen of like adverts and stuff for Glee, she actually looks really good in it. But I don't care for Glee. But yeah, she was really good in Wreck-It Ralph. The whole film was, but whilst they used all these licenses, it wasn't like about a specific video game that we already know. All the video games that were sort of the main games. There was a kart racing game which was called Sugar Rush, which actually I found a bit creepy because if anyone remembers, there used to be a Channel 4 drama called Sugar Rush, which was about a girl who met a new friend at school called Sugar and then discovered she fancied her and that she was actually a lesbian. So yeah, that one kind of weirded me out a bit, that the game was called Sugar Rush, and that's what I think Sugar Rush to be. But, oh well. Yeah, so they didn't use real games, so it gave them enough scope to do what they wanted with them. Otherwise, they'd have been tied down to stuff. But there's plenty of fan service in there. The Konami code was in it at one point, and everyone cheered at that. It's just a really good film. Pretty simple story. There was a twist in it that no one really expected, because they didn't really build on it too much. It was quite subtle, which was quite nice. But it is a kids' film. It's not a really serious adult film, but gamers will appreciate it and they'll find it funny and they'll see the bits in it. It's basically a kids' version of Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. Because that was another film that it's not based on a video game, but it takes a lot of stuff about video games to it. I quite like Scott Pilgrim. It took me a couple of times to really get into Scott Pilgrim, but once I sort of got it, I mean, what else do you want from a film that starts with the Universal logo opening in 16-bit, or was it 18-bit, or 8-bit? I don't know. It was good. But yeah, so if you haven't seen Wreck-It Ralph, if you're in America or any other country, I don't know, I know for a fact that looking at some of my video analysis is, I do get some people from America watching my videos, which is nice. Hello over there. If you're in America, it's out on DVD and Blu-ray soon, so you might as well just wait for that. It won't be in your cinemas anymore. But if you're in the UK, I strongly recommend going and seeing it. Though I would still recommend seeing it in 2D, mainly because 3D prices are expensive. I had Orange Wednesdays, which if you don't know what Orange Wednesdays are, is where on a Wednesday, Orange customers get 2 for 1 I'm only explaining this for the Americans who may not know what Orange Wednesdays are. Most people in the UK will know what it is. But yeah, and even then it still came to £11.95, I think it was, for the two of us, because you don't get the 3D on the 2-for-1. You only get you don't get the 3D. You only get the 2D. So you have to then pay an extra £2. So I got one ticket at full price for an adult with 3D, and then I got another ticket for £2 because that was the price difference. It's just ridiculous. And don't even get me started on cinema food. I had a look, and as soon as I looked, I was like, no, not even bothering. I'll wait, and we'll go in the pub afterwards. And that was nice. So, what else is there? Well, there's all this washing up, which is getting there slowly. But I'll try and speed it up a little bit. So what else is there? I've spoken in previous videos about the radio that I did. I spoke about in the video where I sort of said, where have I been for 6 months or however long it was. I said that I'm on the radio. A couple of weeks ago, Jonathan Kennedy, the guy who runs Screen Team, couldn't make it. So I actually hosted and wrote the agenda for the show. And I'm doing that again this Tuesday because he's away at a Guardian newspaper visit trip. I'm not quite sure what it is, but yeah, so I'm going to be doing it again. We'll be reviewing Wreck-It Ralph. And talking about some other stuff. I might be talking about sexism in video games because that seems to be cropping up again. I'm trying as hard as I can to avoid violence in video games because I've kind of exhausted everything I've got to say about it. I pretty much summed up in my last washing up video what I finally sort of thought about the whole thing. So I'm trying to avoid talking about that. But yeah, so if you're available on Tuesday and you fancy having a listen to me and some other people on the radio, it's 97.7 FM, but you probably won't be able to get through to it on the radio because it doesn't seem to work very well. Just go to the website that's on your screen now. Tuesday, 3 PM, Screen Team. I'll be hosting it, and there should be some other people with me. I believe Milo Says Relax will be on it, and another guy called Norman will be on it. I don't know about the other guy who normally does it, Matt, because I think he might be on the Guardian trip with Mr. Kennedy. But yeah, I really enjoyed hosting it last time. It's quite good to be behind the desk with all the fiddly buttons and things like that. I really should not have washed this now, because now this water's quite horrible. This water really is quite horrible now. And I know I got told off last time, in the last one, by a little Miss Rhiannon Gun telling me I should have changed the water over because it was really yucky. I'm sorry, I'll change the water over now. So there's going to be a slight cut as I change the water over because that's not very interesting to watch. Okay, so next thing I wanted to talk about was League of Legends. Because you all know that I love League of Legends. I should probably note out, I'm still getting some comments on my top 5 worst 5 League of Legends Ultimates video. I'll just sort of set the record straight with that now. Now that Season 3's happened and Misfortune's Ultimate has changed and stuff like that, that video is kind of defunct. I don't believe any of that anymore, particularly as I've also now started playing Jarvan, and I love him. My mate Ray got me the Warring Kingdoms Jarvan skin for the Lunar event, and it's so good. His ultimate looks awesome. So yeah, that video doesn't really cover what I think at the moment. It was what I thought back then. So if you want to watch it, then do, but don't then go in the comment section and start be like, oh, all those suggestions are really bad because of this, this, and this. It's like, well, yeah, well, here's your warning. I don't believe that anymore. I don't know what I believe. I don't think it really matters. It was just at the time I really wanted to do a video about LoL, and that was what was there. But Quinn and Valor was released today on PBE. I'm on the PBE servers. Nick RP Green, as I am with pretty much everything. So yeah, she is. I say she. They are very interesting. Cause they are two champions in one. Quinn and Valor. One you don't get one without the other. She's an AD carry. This is Quinn. Quinn is an AD carry. She's a Demacian AD carry, so she now fills that role because the Demacians had everything except an AD carry. So now, if I remember correctly, the Demacian team is Garen top. Jungle Jarvan, Galio mid, support Lux, Quinn and Valor, AD carry. So I want to get that done with some people at some point because I think that'd be really cool. I can't do it until Quinn and Valor is actually released. But she seems reasonably powerful. I mean, once she's got some items behind her, she's about as powerful as any other AD carry. But her abilities are really unique. I love her because she just makes me think of Mordecai from Borderlands 1. And I played through Borderlands 1 as Mordecai, and the relationship between Mordecai and Bloodwing is very similar to how Quinn and Valor's relationship works. Her passive is Valor, her eagle, who just sort of flies around the map. You don't see Valor, except when he swoops in to do something. He periodically marks targets. He'll just mark a random target, though more often than not it will be a target that you're currently attacking. If Quinn hits the target with the mark on it, she deals bonus damage to it, and then the mark disappears. So that's pretty simple. Her Q is she throws out Valor. She sends Valor forward in a skill shot. He stops at the first enemy, that includes minions, that he comes across, and then sort of does a bit of a swirl. I hope you can see me doing that. I'll move the tap back out of the way. He sort of does this swirl, attacking every enemy within a small radius and blinding them all. So for a start, she's an AD carry with a blind, which is interesting. As they kind of sort of took that out of other champions. Like, I know Corki used to have a blind. Teemo obviously still has a blind, and it pisses everyone off. But they took out the attack speed debuff for Ezreal, things like that. So it's interesting that they've decided to put that in this time. So yeah, that obviously all of her abilities scale off AD. There's no AP scaling whatsoever. Her W is a passive in that whenever she attacks a marked target, she then gains attack speed for about 3 seconds, and as you rank that ability up, the attack speed becomes greater. That's the passive on it. It has an active as well, which is there's no mana cost, similar to Ashe's Hawk Shot, but it's just an AoE area around her that she reveals the area. It's quite a large area. She only reveals it for 2 seconds, but it's quite kind of useful. If you're chasing someone and they run into a brush, activate that and you'll see them, so you can carry on attacking. Her E is fantastic. I love her E. It's called Volt. What she does, she charges towards a champion. You just click the champion. It's not a skill shot. She charges towards the champion, sort of vaults off of them, which applies a slow for 2 seconds, which degrades, similar to Olaf's axes. They change Olaf's axes so that when they get hit by the slow slowly degrades over time. So I think that's what they're trying to do to slows. Rather than it being a flat amount for 2 seconds, it starts out at, I think for Valor it's for Quinn, it starts out at 75%, and then degrades over time. But I can't remember off the top of my head if the slow amount increases with ranks. I don't think it does. I think it's just the cooldown and the damage. It deals some damage. But yeah, she jumps off them, giving them the slow. Valor immediately comes in and marks that target, and then she vaults away from them in the same direction that she came from, back into max attack range. So it means it's a gap closer. She gets the slow on them, and then she gets back out of danger but still within range to then fire off another auto attack, plus the target is marked. So it's a really good combination of abilities. And then there's her ultimate, which is called Tag Team, which is really cool. She tags out with Valor. She disappears, Valor comes in, and you then play as Valor for 20 seconds, if memory serves correctly. Valor has increased movement speed, 80% whilst out of combat. I think it's 20% whilst in combat. The passive on the W, which was the attack speed attacking marks, the more you increase that, the more attack speed Valor just has. The Q does the same, but rather than it be a skill shot, Valor just attacks in the area that he's in. The E is still the dash and the slow, but they don't vault, but Valor doesn't vault back. You can still activate the W to give you the AoE, reveal, and then the ultimate again. You after 20 seconds, or if you reactivate it, they swap back out again. Quinn comes back in, and a hail of arrows comes with her, which deals damage based off AD and based off how much health the enemies in the area are missing. So she is an AD carry with a blind, a slow, a great amount of peel, an attack speed buff, and an execution. So, yeah, I like her. I really do. I've been testing her a little bit. I played her in ARAM, much to the disgust I had for the other players in there. The community in PvE is still as bad as the rest, so don't go in there thinking that you're going to have a nice time with nice people who respect the fact that this is a testing ground, because you won't. They'll still be horrible. They'll still be nasty. Yeah, I took her in ARAM. I jungled her because I'm a jungler. That's what I do, and it worked. It worked all right. I took attack speed marks, attack speed glyphs, armor seals, life steal quintessences, and I think it was something like 17, 13 masteries, which worked. It works all right. It was only a bot game, so it was only beginner bots. So yeah, that's not really a good test. But it was good to see how it worked. She didn't take too much damage. She took about as much damage as most other junglers would. Whoops, there goes the bin. Now, what the heck is this? I'm not sure even... I think it's burnt on chicken. But it's a bit... It doesn't really want to... Where's the... I'm going to need... There we go. I'm going to need the metallic wool, I think it's called. That might get it off. Is that getting it off? I'm not That's kind of getting it off. Yeah, it's definitely burnt on chicken, which isn't very pleasant. But, c'est la vie. I think I'll make this the last time. I'll do this, and I'll do a sieve, because there's a sieve, and that'll fit in the rest of the slot. So yeah, I like Quinn and Valor. The alternate skin is a Phoenix style skin, so they're both sort of red, and the images we've seen so far, it's unfinished, so I'm assuming there's going to be some more flame effects to it. At the moment it just looks a bit red, which isn't too great, but it'll get better, I'm sure, when they finish it off. So yeah, I really like Quinn and Valor, because they remind me of Mordecai, and it's about time they released a new AD carry. I think the last AD carry they released was Draven, and that's quite a while ago. So yeah, really excited for when she actually comes out. I might actually buy the bundle with that, because it's really good. But yeah, so that's all I've got to really say this time around. The water's gone a bit yucky again. I've done a decent bit of washing up. There's still a load more to do. It's a bit of a pain, but I won't do another video with those because I need to save. I haven't got anything else really to talk about at the moment. Well, there's loads of stuff going on. There's the reveal of the PlayStation 4 on the 20th of February, so make sure you watch that. Well, assuming it's the reveal of the PlayStation 4. What else can it be? The next PS Vita? Would they really make a big song and dance about the next iteration of the Vita? I really don't think they would, but it can't really be anything else other than the PS4. Everyone's waiting for it. Everyone's expecting it. So, yeah, that's what it's going to be. Metal Gear Rising Revengeance is coming out. Hopefully I'll get hold of it and I'll do a review of it. Or I might just do another one of these videos and have a chat about it. I really enjoyed playing the demo, so I'm quite looking forward to the game. It sucks a bit about the PS3 exclusive DLC that's going to be with it, because I was hoping to get it on the Xbox 360 because I play on that more. Though I may get it on the PS3 just for old time's sake. And also so I get that DLC. Apart from that, I've been Nick RP Green. You've been watching me do the washing up, which involved some stuck-on chicken and mucky water and a mucky water change. I hope you're happy now, Rihanna. I've changed the water this time, so it wasn't mucky all the way through. Thank you for watching. Subscribe if you like what you've listened to, and I'll see you next time. Now then, where is a towel?